Alright, hello everyone. We are back for hole number 9 revision here. And I can see the way that my hole went yesterday. So I am going to kind of make a little bit of a revision here. I'm going to dial it back to sniper. I feel under any circumstance it's going to have enough length. Oh, you know what? This actually doesn't quite have the length. I am going to... If you have a Sniper 10, go with Sniper 10. Since I don't have the full top spin and full power adjustment yet, I'm going to switch it up to Hammerhead just to make sure that my bases are covered for that second shot. But aside from that, I'm assuming that we will be able to make relatively easy work of this 9th hole. And you can see, replays are full in effect here. Ever since, I don't remember, maybe the 6th hole was the last. As soon as the trophy count matches up every time, that's the dead giveaway. So if you want to know how many forfeits that takes, I don't know, it was 3, 4, something like that. You could probably count them. And that'll pretty much give you the set number that they start to penalize you. But if you ever get forfeited to, it's just one time. You can only get forfeited to once. So it'd be nice to beat this replay, honestly. Just because, he doesn't, it's not like I'm giving him any stats. But I'd rather beat him with birdie. So maybe I'll do it that way. And try to, anyway. And what I usually do here is more of a straight top spin. It usually gets the ball a little bit longer. I do have quite a bit of side wind here. I'm playing off the right bullseye and, basically estimating an entire bullseye over. So, I'm basically, with the wind, I'm kind of aiming at the left bullseye right now. And going to just play, the standard 2.5 rings, which is pretty spot on for an Apocalypse 5-6, which is about 2.5 targets. So if the first one was where I was set, then I just move an additional 1.5, and there you can see it just kind of ends up relatively perfect, pretty aggressive. You can see, the way that you're going to ensure the most top spin and longest run out is by kind of putting that top spin straight. So as opposed to straight side spinning it, you might want to go with more of a straight forward, and you'll usually get at least, you typically get the better rollout. There will be times that you get robbed of the perfect rollout. An example of that would be if you want to look at my hole 3 shot, I use very similar spin, almost straight full up, and it did not take a very good rollout. Nothing like that one. That one was kind of a really almost best case scenario rollout, and you can see kind of what we're dealing with here. One of the things that I'm going to try to do for the most part is to just kind of hop it over and shoot this towards the hole, kind of like this. So here you see me lining up kind of to the right, just to kind of anticipate that, side spin that we're going to get. I'm going to also go at least 10 rings. There you see me, because I'm into power, so there you see me probably going 10.5 rings and just kind of playing it straight up. And let's just see what we can get for a shot here. You can see this is much more aggressive. I'm not really concerned if it runs over, but you can see that it's still left. So that just shows you, one, the effects that you have to think about, that side wind effect. because, you know, I started to the right of the bullseye. I went at least 10 and a half, 11 rings, and I'm still to the left of the hole. So that whole side wind kind of overtakes everything, and it'll overplay. But like I said, you know, I'm going to get a little bit aggressive because I'm just trying to run it into the pin. I don't care if it runs down the hill. I can easily dunk that pitch from there. You don't even have to go outside the cup. You would just put it left edge, right on the edge of the cup, and easily make the dunk. But I'm not going to make the dunk. I'm just going to tie this guy. But that is the method that I would use had I been going for it. So, the other factor that I wanted to mention about that second shot was, notice I was very much into power before I started adjustment. So if my normal win per ring is 1.1, I went well beyond that. So keep that in mind. And one of the reasons is because you're so much into power, that extra plus 15, you have to correct more rings. So trying to anticipate or, you know, figure out how many rings you need to go is kind of the goal to do in the first couple days. So for example, on that adjustment, I went, you know, 11 rings on a 9 point whatever, 9.1 or whatever it was. I'll just go back and watch the video. But, you know, if I can see that I was probably still 3 rings short, but keep in mind, that's only going to be in effect if you're in the same power. So if you get plus, you know, if it's only plus 5 or, you know, every time that starts changing, you don't need to go as many rings. So you always need to think about that in your adjustments as well. Here I usually go pretty close to, you know, 7, 8 rings. I try to do the full backspin shot on this hole and go at it with some curl. So that's what you see me doing here. Of course, great ball right, being a little cautious. Would have been nice to have perfect ball there, but let's see how the run out is. It's going to be okay. So that is going to give you, taking that angle, but getting a little bit more aggressive towards the right will give you your best chance to ace it. You might not always end up the closest, because if you take too much backstop, you'll probably run about 4 yards long. There's a more consistent approach if you just kind of use, you know, more of like a, maybe like 2 to 3 backspin approach, to where you just kind of use the slope. But it's a little bit, you know, it usually rolls out more consistent when you do that. And you'll probably get more wins that way. But I usually go away from that shot entirely and never hit it. And this is also a pretty good one. So we're actually going to be in a fight for this one. Looks like he might edge me out, which is kind of unfortunate because it's a, you know, a replay. He's not going to get any of the rewards. But I think he just edged me out, I believe. I wasn't paying attention to the numbers, but yep. But that's kind of the goal to that hole. If you want to go for the ace, you have to get very aggressive to the left edge, which I was trying to do. And then I great balled it right. So, you know, if you get very, very, very close to that left rough's edge, like within a yard of it, that's going to give you the best chance to, you know, cut that corner enough to where you could give it a run at the hole-in-one. Otherwise, you're going to see, you know, what we just did 99.999% of the time. It just cuts in front of the hole and stops close, but never is going to actually go in unless you cut the corner more and get it more on the backstop instead of the side hill. So keep that in mind when you're playing that shootout. And good luck. Hopefully you guys found this tutorial useful. and let me know how your rounds go. So good luck out there.